Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Distance Slim podcast. My name is Shaun. I'm in Dublin, Ireland. This is Imran. He is in Thun, Switzerland. This is our long distance friendship podcast. This is episode number 26. Imran, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. I'm good.
Didn't even flinch doing that.
No,
Flinch.
he's got it down to an absolute T. I sometimes I think he practices in the mirror when no one's looking. You know what I mean?
No, just
No.
force a habit. I'm just used to like doing like pieces to camera and like saying the same shit. It's like like what we were talking about with the vlogs and the from my perspective thing. It's like it's just second nature now.
I don't think I'll ever get used to that. Like even when we're doing like awareness videos for topics, like I have to do at least 5 or 6 takes. But maybe it's just because you probably have more practice in front of the camera. Maybe.
Yeah, but like I do it like multiple times a week, and I've been doing it for like 2 or 3 years as well. Like so it's different to like when you do it like.
Because we're only like what 5 months. I think we're 5 months. About four. Yeah, probably doing this podcast about 5 months. Yeah.
Yeah, it's February when we started, so we're 5 months is correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That we're like this is officially like the half a year mark of us doing it because it's episode 26. So we're half a year into this venture.
And I was only thinking today as well, I know it's so far away, but let's just say in 4 to 5 years we return. Like, how is the podcast going to look? I know that's like very future thinking, but how is that podcast going to look compared to maybe, we might be able to do it in person then, we might be able to have like a certain place where we're going to be able to do it. But like, this is like way down the line. Like sometimes like each week me and Shaun actually struggle to find a topic to talk about.
Yeah. But the thing, we naturally just riff. Like Simone was saying to me on Sunday, we're talking about the podcast with our friends, and like she was just like, but those two are like ideal for that thing because they can just talk. They can talk about shite on the wall, like So
literally, if there was paint on the wall, like talk about it, like different shades. But how was your experience watching the? I know we won't talk about football because we talked about it lots last week. But how was your viewing
the
with
best
the match?
team? You mean the best team in the world winning the trophy to officially say that we're the best team in the world? It was fucking fantastic. I had a great Sunday that day because we went over to my mate's house and we watched the game with other Chelsea fans. And because I went back to Blanche, I planned my cheat day around that. And I got to have my favourite Chinese from Blanche, which is the Dragon Inn in Mulhuddart. That was my local Chinese when I used to live there. And even when I moved over to Ongar, that was still where like I would order my Chinese from, but because they won't deliver here, it's also like you couldn't drive to Blanche and back and keep that spice bag warm, So I was a very happy camper. Get my it's like that's my OG spice bag. Like that's like the spice bag I grew up with. Like none of this fancy, Giant or Sansab or the trendy places or like you need to go to Clontarf or killing the Skinny or somewhere in the back arse of Sligo to get the best spice bag. This is the spice bag I was reared on. So it was emotional getting to have that again. It's honestly it's my spice bag equivalent to a crusty corner. Roll.
Yeah, I understand. It's funny how like people get accustomed to the local like Chinese or chipper, but sometimes then like it could be the complete opposite. You could particularly like a Chinese that's miles away.
Yeah.
Like I remember for a long time, me and Nicola were going to. I'm probably gonna butcher this name, but I think it's Fullock. Up in Coolock. Or I think it's Coolock. No, there wasn't one.
There's one.
Not the one in Cordoff. The one in Cordoff is so bad. Sorry.
The one in Cordoff will give you diarrhea. Like it's a prescription. It's a doctor's prescription for diarrhea.
That's not even a last resort place. You've got to avoid that as much as possible.
I've heard people like swear by it, and like there's people out there who like from Blanche that love Fullock, and any time I've had Fullock, it's given me the shits.
Yeah. There's some places it's the banker of the shits. Like you're gonna get the shits when you go there.
And another one is Chung's in Memphiw as well.
Chung's is terrible.
Chung's in Memphiw is the worst Chinese I've had in my life. Because like Fullock's not great, but like its big selling point is it's giving you the shits, and but like as a spice bag, it's fairly routine. It's fairly grand. Like Chung's in Memphiw is like it's just bad food. It's just really. I used to work next door to it for about a year, and I had it twice, and every time after I felt sick. So It's not.
Yeah, Nicola made a kind of like a homemade spice bag the other night for the both of us. Like obviously as well, we're both Nicola started now as well. We're both doing like the count our calories and stuff. I mean, we're going on holidays tomorrow for 3 days, but we're kind of the people where if we're on holidays, like I'm not gonna stop myself from enjoying myself while I'm away. But I'm also not gonna. We were both like agreement to each other, like we're not gonna try go overboard because it's so easy when you're away to just like absolutely just go crazy and eat and drink as much as you want. Where we feel like now it's like we're gonna have enjoy ourselves, but we're not gonna ruin all the progress we've both made so far. Because it's hard to differentiate when you're on holidays. Like it depends on the holiday you're going on as well.
What I would recommend you do, what I done to anybody else is like looking for weight loss tips from a bloke who is still obese. Um, so what I would recommend you do is still count your calories. Like eat as much as you want, but just like keep the habit. I done that for like before 2 weeks before I actually started cutting my calories. I just got in the habit of like counting calories and like knowing what I was eating because I think it like helps you kind of open your mind to like how many calories are in like rice and pasta and olive oil and like bread and like things like that. Like just keep like I just think to keep the habit up is a good idea.
It will just be hard though when you go into restaurants because you don't know like how much spices, how much salt and pepper, how much oil is going into it. So.
You have to guesstimate that sort of stuff. Like even
yeah.
I still like even on my cheat meals, I will do my best to track my cheat meals. Now that's a lot easier with like Domino's and McDonald's and like a Subway where like these are brands where you can get a really decent estimate. Obviously, it will depend on how much that one worker put onto your sandwich or onto your burger or whatever. But it's always going to be an estimate. But it gets harder when you're like talking about like the local chipper, which doesn't have a calorie counter.
Yeah,
so you have
that's
to
why a lot of people love McDonald's because a lot of McDonald's provide you with a calorie count.
I have never in my life eaten as much McDonald's since I started.
Yeah, you said this last week as well.
It's crazy, yeah, but like it's so true, like because I love Burger King. You have always been big Burger King guys, but since I've started to lose weight, because McDonald's can tell me a cheeseburger is exactly a double cheeseburger is like 330 calories or something like that, right? So because I can track that properly outside of my cheat days, it just means that like I will lean towards Mackey's for that choice. Like it's not even the case of them being lower calorie than Burger King. I think Burger King do on some things, but it like ranges like they'll say on their double cheeseburger it's like it's 250 to 300. Like it's a bit more of a variation. Like whereas Mackey's will give you an exact number.
Yeah, it is nice, especially when you're wanting a cheat meal, because I feel like I'm very impressed by people who can consistently stick to a diet without breaking it for like months on time. Like I know people that are doing these like 6 months, 12 weeks plans where they like don't break from the diet at all, like very structured workouts. But I feel like they're more surrounded now around the fitness industry. I'm seeing a lot of people doing these. They're kind of like picture programs. So like you take photos at the start, and then in 12 weeks time you try to get in the best absolute shape as possible, where I feel like yourself, myself and Nick are kind of like at the point is we're just trying to lose a bit of weight over time just to be more healthy rather than look at perfection or look this perfect way that social media gives you.
Yeah, like honestly, like I am so excited to return to eating like I have emotional trauma. Like I can't wait to get back to that, honestly. Because like I'm just like I don't want like I don't want abs, I don't want like that, but I just want to get to like a more comfortable and say socially acceptable size, I suppose. Like I started at 366. As of Monday, I was 326, so I'm
That's
about
really good.
30 now. Thank you. And like I want to get down to like 230ish, and then like I'll probably keep up the like I'll keep going to the gym, and then I'll have like my like chippers, or like I'll have like a big food day on gym days, and then days I don't go to the gym I'll kind of keep things a bit more under wraps, like and then just keep going forward in life. I think I'll probably still count calories for like the foreseeable future until like I would like wait till I've kept the weight off for like a year maybe. Like I'd wait to be like, right, okay, you're not just going to relapse and put all the weight back on.
Which is hard not to do that. Like I've done it myself.
I've seen a lot of people like go from like 350 pounds to like 180 and then go back to 350 because they just fasted their diet. They done a program where it's like 6 months of like 1800 calories and they stuck to it. But the problem was when they then stopped that, they just put it straight back on. That's why like I'm still like I will have a McDonald's on a not cheat day because it's in my calories. So I wouldn't count that. Whereas like I think tomorrow I'm gonna get a fat ass kebab.
Oh yes,
Fat ass kebab, man.
yes.
Yeah, yeah. Fat ass mixed kebab and some onion rings, like, you know.
Oh, I think I love food. I get so much enjoyment out of food. You know, like I'm one of the people like I look forward to like a cheat day or like my dinner later on. Like I'm one of the people that but like I know other people that would just eat food just for fuel. They don't actually like the process of eating the food. They just want to, eat it. But I actually I'm one of the people like when I'm eating food and the person beside me is enjoying their meal as well. It's like me and Finn used to do that all the time when we went away. Like we'd be analysing our food while we're eating it. Like we're very much guys that review things about like anything, films, food, like the cinema, like everything that we've done together. We're always like rating it.
Yeah, this is half the reason we started this podcast as well, folks. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
Just so we can make our opinions public instead of just send them to each other on Snapchat.
I was last night. I went on to the Podbeam just to have a look at just kind of like episodes, like averages, how we were doing, like statistically wise. Again, me and Shaun started this podcast. We didn't absolutely not care. Still do not care about the people that do. Like, we obviously appreciate everyone that watches the podcast and like that can relate to it. But again, like we did this because we wanted to stay in contact with each other, not about numbers. But I thought it'd be interesting because we had said it previously in the prior podcast that we'd look at the countries that people have watched the podcast in. So I think it'd be funny if you guess some of the countries. Now before, let me just pull it up first and then you can guess with me.
Somalia.
1 second.
Yeah. Interesting. I think this is like a real, like, whenever I mention the topic to people, like whenever I'm like, oh yeah, I do a podcast, it's always like a unique kind of selling point. Like the people go, oh, that's like actually a cool idea. And like when I was researching like the name and like looking for other podcasts, like it didn't come up as like a very. I thought it was quite like this long distance concept was quite a niche thing because initially the podcast was going to be. And Imran wanted the podcast to be like strictly a Marvel podcast and just reviewing the MCU and doing that sort of stuff. And while
I'm glad we actually haven't done that in the end.
Yeah, because I just think we would run out of stuff to talk about too quickly, like, or we would be repeating stuff over and over again. Now, not that we absolutely do repeat stuff. I think I'd say we're about 10-15 minutes into recording this now, and I'd say at least 60% stuff has already been
mentioned
it's been mentioned in some form in different podcasts, but not everybody listens to every podcast every week, so we got to keep that in our heads as well, like.
I think that's the good thing though, because you're always, which I found interesting, is you're getting new listeners every week, people that you probably maybe have thought about tuning in to watch an episode here and there and like never got around to it. Okay, sorry, I had it here, I just couldn't find it on my phone. Sorry.
Are you talking about the countries or our dads?
I mean that too. Sorry. So from our statistics on not YouTube, this is just specifically platforms where Spotify, Amazon, or blah blah blah, Apple Music, blah blah. These are ones that people have watched. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 8 countries from streaming platforms where we've had views from. You can give me.
I'm going to go for
the obvious ones. Yeah,
so I'm
going
to go for Ireland. I'm going to go for Switzerland. I'm going to go for UK.
Yeah.
All 3.
Okay. Yeah, all 3.
We've got some USA.
Yeah.
Canada.
Yeah.
Algeria.
Actually, no, not on streaming. They are on YouTube. They're on YouTube.
Okay. So
Spotify. This is specifically Spotify and Podbeam and Apple Music and so on.
Australia.
Yes.
New Zealand.
Sorry, it just fell off my screen there.
Nice.
Yeah, perfect. No.
No, New Zealand.
Not New Zealand. So you're missing 3, which I think you're going to be surprised actually about 3 of them. But yeah.
China.
Okay. No. China would be cool though. If Distance Dilemma has made its way to China, I'd be thinking we're big time.
Well, my next guess is along a similar kind of synopsis. India.
No, no,
Right, and my
no.
reason for picking those two in the US was, well, like USA and Canada, there's lots of Irish there, and I assume some of our friends in some form of like listen to the podcast in some way over there. But my thought behind China and India was they have the biggest the populations that aren't Russia.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah.
was just thinking, maybe someone stumbled upon.
Okay, so
Um,
I'll name all the countries altogether. So the most obviously, of course, is Ireland. Then second is Switzerland. Third is the United States. Fourth is Canada. Fifth is Australia. Sixth is the United Kingdom. This one was surprising when I read it. The Philippines.
okay,
Yeah, okay. Shout out to
that's
our
the Philippines.
Philippines sisters and brothers. Spain, which is, I'm trying to think. I've only one person I know that's in Spain, and then the Netherlands. These are all our regions that we've blossomed in.
There's very yeah, but
Um,
there's a very high possibility that like whoever is listening to us in Ireland just went to Amsterdam for the weekend and listened to us over there. That's a very high
that
possibility.
that also is very true.
'Cause
We'll do
like
this in a couple of weeks again to see you on the YouTube. I know
I think at
Algeria,
least
of
like
course, is one of them.
25% of the Irish population has been to Amsterdam at some point.
Yeah, at
It's
least.
like
Sure, Nicholas been 5 times. I've been 4.
I've only been once. I do like Amsterdam, but like I wasn't
Yeah.
like rushing to. I think we talked about this when we were in your house that time. Like I liked it, but I wouldn't be like rushing to go back to it.
No,
Like.
no.
But I think a big part of that is like me and Simone don't smoke, so
Smoke. Yeah, yeah.
we saw
That's
the tourist attractions and we're like, yeah, this is cool. But like, there's just a lot of people baked out their heads walking around as well, like falling into the canals.
What's the one place in Europe? Obviously, I've done Interrail, so I've done a lot of Europe already. What's like the one place in Europe that you haven't been to that you really want to go to?
Probably Italy. I've not been to Italy yet. That's like the next kind of city break summer holiday kind of place that we want to go to. Not for like a sun holiday, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
spend a week. And the thing is, there's so many parts of Italy I'd like to go to. Like I'd like to go to obviously like Naples and Milan and Rome and stuff. But like I'd
Mhm.
also like to see like
The Amalfi
like,
Coast
part-
and stuff like that.
I'd like to see
Yeah.
loads of it. Yeah, and like I've like everybody who's been to Italy has told me that Italy is gorgeous and
Oh
it's
man,
great.
by far it's my favorite place in Europe.
Yeah.
It's because they just have such a variation of like culture, history, good food, the music's good, like their lakesides, their viewpoints. The people are super nice as well. I mean, I think for me personally, when we went into Ireland, my favorite times and my favorite experiences were in the 7 places we went in Italy at the time as well. And Nicola really wanted to see the Amalfi Coast. That was probably one of her biggest things for her to see when she went to Italy. For me, I would say, which I'm actually doing this year, is Iceland. I've always wanted to go to Iceland. I've just been fascinated by the layout of the land and everything. So I'm super excited for that. And then my second question was like, what's besides Europe? Like, what's like your top place that you want to go to?
In your like in just in the world.
In the
like,
world, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Like I've never been to America. I'd like to go to America. Just to see what it's like. I don't even have like I
Yeah.
know America. It's like going. I want to go to Europe. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
huge.
yeah.
Like where in America do you want to go to? Kind of LA. I think maybe I'd like to go to LA or Chicago or Florida, somewhere like that. Like I've no interest in going to like New York or something like. Well, like I would like to. I would go to New York, but it's not the first place in America I would go to. I'd much rather go to Florida, Miami,
Yeah,
LA,
yeah.
somewhere sunny and with good vibes and stuff. Like like people. Like I'd maybe like to go to like Nashville, but maybe not under the current regime because I don't want to get deported for in the wrong fucking tone over Trump.
Yeah.
So
Literally.
uh,
I was only reading yesterday that there was a guy from Ireland. Name was Thomas. He probably like 35 years of age, but he was working over there in a tech company at the time, and he missed his visa by 3 days, and they sent him to ICE immigration detention center, and he had like served there now for 6 to 9 months. I think he was only been released like yesterday. There was a whole news article on Daft. Is it, I don't know if the Instagram page is Daft IE, or no, I think it's District Magazine. It's a good Irish page. They always like keep you up to date with things. But I was just thinking like, that's crazy because he even had like doctor's cert to say that the reason that he wasn't they suggested him not to travel within the 3 days because of how he had injured injured himself in the workplace, but they still took him. And I'm sure there's going to be a bit of uproar now with the governments, but you know what I mean. It's kind of hard to differentiate with them things.
Yeah, I mean, like, they're just fucking nuts over there at the moment. Like, there's no other way of fucking explaining it. Like, they're just nuts.
Do you think from like our perspective in Europe though, it just seems a lot worse than it is, or do you think it's like when people are there, they probably get more of an eye-opening view because this kind of stuff happens regularly in the States? I don't know. For to us, this always seems like way out bigger proportion, because when you think of America, you just think about how big and how many different states there is, and I don't know.
I think it's a bit of both, like, because I had one of my friends from work was in the US recently, and I asked her a similar question, and she was saying like it's not as big of a news story as it is over here, because like as much as I don't agree with what Trump says and does most of the time, his viewpoint is generally like he's trying to look after white Americans basically, like and he wants to his message seems to be to look after the taxpayer. I don't know everything about Trump's policies, by the way. If I'm wrong in any of this stuff, I'm not claiming to be right on everything, but,
get him,
get him,
boy.
Like she was saying, like it's not like everybody over, like it's not like when you go to Belfast and like things are very clearly like Catholic or Protestant, like there's a very clear divide of that. Like she said it's more like in Dublin where it's like republicanism versus unionism, that sort of thing. It's like it's not super present. Like definitely everybody has an opinion about it, but it's not really like aggressively in your face. Like it's kind of dramatized a little bit more. And then I met an American girl at a gig last year, and we me and the group that I was with, we were all like, oh, like what's the vibe here? Like, where did you are you voting for Kamala? Are you voting for Trump? And like it really kind of depends state by state. She was saying like, and like she was very liberal and pro Palestine and normal basically. Like is a good way
the
to
good
describe
people.
it. Like she's the good side. Like she was a Democratic voter, I think. And she was saying they know what's wrong, but at the end of the day, they voted. They did vote him in. So yeah, it's a fine line between what it is, but it's not. I don't. Yeah, sorry to answer the question simply. It's not. I don't think it's as present and aggressive in day-to-day life over there as it is over here. Because it affects our trade, especially because we are port side to the US. Like the next country beside Galway is the USA. That's where you get to New York. So it does affect our relations, our exports, our relations, and our tax and tariffs and that sort of stuff. Like it does have a massive effect. There's obviously lots of American companies in Ireland as well, so we have to take an interest in this sort of stuff.
I think people are always amazed as well. I don't think people take into consideration how small Ireland actually is. I was talking to someone in work the other day, and they just couldn't get over the idea that you can go from the north of Ireland to the south in less than 5 hours. Depending on obviously traffic and stuff. And then I was reading that from from South Texas to North Texas, it's 8 hours, and that's one state. So that just proves how small Ireland actually is. But it's funny how much the country makes an impact on the world, though. That's the one thing I'm really surprised about.
Yeah, this is one thing that wrecks my head about people who are right wing Irish people who want to keep Ireland for the Irish. With any of the audio listeners with inverted commas over
inverted commas.
Because Ireland is historically a country full of people who have migrated and who have who have emigrated to other countries.
Yeah.
That's why there's such a large Irish population in in Canada, in the US, in Liverpool, in Manchester, in general across the UK. There's so many Irish, and we're doing it at the moment. It's those same people wouldn't be giving out to their relatives who are moving to Australia and New Zealand and Switzerland in your case, to build a better life or to build up money. They don't give it to them for doing that. But then when it's the opposite way around, when someone comes from possibly a third world country or asylum seekers or whatever like that, and then they want to throw a hissy fit because they want to better their lives by coming here. It just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. Yeah. To me, it's they just don't have a view of anyone outside of Ireland. So I think they publicly thinking, oh, we're looking after our own. We don't need to take in anybody. We don't like the view or thing. But I think people forget that at the end of the day, most people emigrate to, like you were just saying there, to create a better life for themselves, their family, you know, so that in the long term, when you do want to return home, which essentially myself and Nicola are wanting to do, you have a better future. But like that's a pro for Ireland. You know what I mean? It's a pro for the country that you are going off and wanting to come home and buy properties, because you know that's how the economic is growing. Like that's how we keep the country going. And like we've talked about last week, and probably shut up now and talk about politics, because it's been a very major topic at the moment in our previous podcast. But that just shows the state of the country. It's not good, people. No.
But it is important to talk about on here as well.
Yeah, of course.
It's the reason you are where you are. Like it's the reason that like you know you had to. Well, you didn't get forced out. Like you know you chose to do that. But like one of the reasons you felt you guys had to do that was because you couldn't see how you could do it, which is fair. Like because so many people are doing it. Like now and like we kind of talked about last week. Like I probably could have been in that boat as well if I wasn't in the situation that I'm in. Like you know.
Yeah.
So like. It's like I do think like politics definitely has a place in this podcast, like you know, because it plays a like it's like I said,
it's on the topic,
like, you know,
yeah.
And like,
I think
I still see it from the grounds from home, and you're seeing it from afar,
which is nice because you do get two different perspectives. And I think as well, like one thing me and Shaun definitely have bonded over is kind of like our upbringings as well. You know. Besides going into details, like myself and Shaun have moved a lot around within Ireland, due to circumstances that probably we wish we probably hadn't experienced, and I think it's just interesting to see, like, I made the decision to move as well as because of my situation at the time. It probably, you know, it was stable, but at the same time, the person I was living at the time, I didn't want to keep putting pressure on him for me to stay within the household all the time. And I think as well, the reason as well, I'm not from a big family, so the reason for me to go and maybe go off and explore for a bit. Sorry, my voice just absolutely broke.
You get some water into you. It was just getting like drier and drier, and then just cut off.
Oh my god, it was getting so dry. Yeah, but what I was trying to just reiterate my point was, I think I was more inclined to move away because I didn't have that sustainability of like a big family to be around. Where I feel like, for example, like maybe Nicola probably wouldn't have made that jump. Now, I'm not, you know, she probably has her own view on this as well, but like I don't think she would have made as big of a jump, or more inclined to jump, because she was in a family household where there was 4 people in the house, and you know both parents are working, and you know I you know I can't talk for her, but I'm just talking about my perspective. What I think is the reason probably why we kind of moved away was I was more inclined for us to go and take this adventure and financial opportunity and stuff like that. So yeah,
that's fair as well. Like you know, right? It's enough of politics, I suppose.
Yes.
We'll move on to our topic for this week, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
So this week's topic is expectations with gifts at parties, social gatherings, barbecues. Anything like that sort of stuff. Like you know, so
I'll give you a backstory where the reason I brought this up for this week was because I went to Lucerne at the weekend. It's a city about 2 hours away from Tuam. My ex-roommate, shout out to Melina, she knows a lot about the podcast. She watches every week, so she only deserves a shout out. And her friend from Greece was over at our new apartment, and we just kind of got into discussion about Ireland and different topics and stuff like that. And we somehow stumbled around this conversation about gift giving, and then how he had experienced a complete different opposition to what I maybe have experienced when I went to gatherings back at home. So he said, like, for example, when he used to have barbecues and, you know, he'd have like 15, 16 people, like he would have, you know, some Greek food, he'd have a whole layout of drinks and everything for everybody to come. And he said, you know, he felt like sometimes empty-handed because people would show up with like, I don't know, lettuce, or some people just wouldn't show up with anything at all, you know, and drink just for them. Um, and I think it's kind of like this culture in Ireland as well. Like sometimes I've experienced it. Is like especially after you turn like 18, 19, when you start going out. You probably know this as well. And he's like your mate will say, "Oh, I'll buy you a drink," and like that's them like to say like, "Oh, you know, happy birthday. Here's the drink, you know, on me." And then half the time they don't. You know, they don't even give you the drink, or like they'll just forget about it. Um, I like from my own perspective, I said like to the guy that I didn't find this. You know, like most of my friends that have like I've ever had a barbecue with, most people are great at sharing food. Likewise, like if for example, like if I had a barbecue, most of them will like tip in, throw in a tenner, or you know, bring soft drinks, or be like, I'll get the cheese and stuff like that. So like from my perspective, I haven't experienced it, but I don't know. I thought it'd be interesting to see your view on it.
Yeah, I think context is like a big part.
Yeah,
Of it.
context
Like
is major.
context is like really like it. Like are we like is it like because we would have I'd say like probably at least once a month we'd have somebody over like one of my mates or a couple like one of our couple friends or members of my family or members of Simone's or like you know something like that. Like we'll have people over for like lunch or dinner or something like that probably at least once or twice a month.
Yeah,
And like I think in that context of like you're just inviting them over just to kind of catch up and hang out. I don't think there's like any
no,
obligation to bring out. Is it nice? Yeah, like my like from family, like I wouldn't expect this, but like for example, like when my grandmother came over there recently, she brought flowers for Simone,
yeah,
you know,
that's nice.
and she brought a dessert. Yeah, I already had a dessert planned and stuff, like you know, but
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that was appreciated, like you know. So I think maybe like a small token like flowers, like it's not expected, but it's also like oh they might do that. Oh okay, grand, that's nice, like you know. I think then like when like with like parties. I think
and
bring your own.
barbecues.
I think bring your
Yeah,
own beer and bring your own
yeah,
drinks is very fair. Like you know, because if you
mm.
if
It's
someone's
expensive.
buying drinks, it's fucking expensive. Yeah, man. Like if you're buying for a party, shit's costing like 150, 200 quid for some decent like
Yeah,
you know beers and you know vodkas and rum and tequila and I don't know what type of parties people are having nowadays. Like you know, it's been a while since I've done that sort of thing. Like you know, so like that gets really expensive. Like you know, so I'd say like in a situation like that where you're having like more of a sesh or like an actual like party or like you're having maybe like fucking 5-6 people plus over to your place. Like I think in that case it's like right okay you should bring at least like a packet of beer for yourself and maybe
yeah,
like you know something for the host in that case as well. Like you know buy them a bit of like you know, like for it's something that like always gets thrown at me because since I've stopped drinking, like someone will for my birthday every year without fail will always buy me like a packet of Coke or Coke Zero instead of
yeah,
buying me
yeah.
a pack of cans.
I've done that
Someone,
myself. Yeah,
yeah, you've done that. Like and
yeah,
you like you used to get me Muju all the time as well.
yeah. Major is a
Like
big one.
stuff like that is like it's appreciated, but like I think the main thing there is like bring your own beer or bring your own drinks. And that
Yeah,
and then barbecues for food like
it's a tough one
it's
because it depends on the amount of people as well that are going to the barbecue.
yeah, I think
and,
if I think if you like you've been invited over to your family's house, like say you've got invited to your grandmother's house or whatever, like and there's only like 5-6 people there, probably not. But if you're
yeah,
going to a barbecue where you know there's like 9-10 plus people there, I would say you should at least offer to make some coleslaw or bring some chicken or like you know do like offer to lighten the load in some way, like some of the cold stuff you can just whack in the fridge and not throw on the grill and that sort of stuff, like or like a couscous salad or some shit like that, like you know like it that's kind of where I would be on it.
do you think that there's expectations though with gift giving has like gone down completely? And for example, like me and Shaun, we do gift giving. It's kind of something that I think maybe Shaun probably had started it. I think maybe he'd got me a gift probably our second or third year into kind of like our friendship, and then every year since we've kind of you know if not possible been able to give each other a gift, well at least get each other a card. And I think as you get older, I think your expectations of gift giving go maybe decreases. You know, like for example, like your partner maybe expect a gift from you, like not in a you know biased or unconscious way. You probably would just expect that person to financially give a gift, or maybe not financially. You know, bring them out for dinner, or you know, do something nice besides spending money or whatever. But I think that the expectations within your friend group or individual friends probably decreases as you get older, whereas like if you're younger and you're like 15, 14, 13 and your mom gives you a birthday party in the house, you know, most of the time the parents will be like, okay, here's, you know, give them 20 quid in the card, or like, you know what I mean, it's kind of like
some
yeah, or get them from Smith's, like some Yu-Gi-Oh stuff or whatever. Like, do you think that the expectations decreases as you get older?
Yeah, but massively. Yeah, like I've not really expected that mad for any birthdays or like that since I was like 14. Like, you know, like what are your expectations when it comes to like your anniversaries, Valentine's Day, birthdays, that sort of stuff? Like, you know.
For me, and me and Nicola talking about, we kind of have gone away from the gift giving aspect over the past couple of years, and the financials that we would have used to have given presents, we more use now to go away, or like go away on a holiday together, or you know, get food,
Have an
like go out
experience,
having
like,
yeah having like experience, probably more experience style to gift giving how it used to be. Now, you know, I'll still get her flowers and I don't know, a bottle of wine or something, you know, something small, like a small gesture. Or she might ask me, she's like, is there anything you want, or you know what I mean, because we're at that like stage in our relationship now where you don't have to like guess gift and with gifts and stuff. You can be honest with the partner, which I do also think is nice as well, because you know, you're not getting shy, no offense, that you probably have gotten before, like, you know what I mean, like stuff you never use or stuff you get, which is kind of, but that's what I mean, I'm trying to stay away more from the relationship side and kind of trying to more focus on around like public or like friendships or family is cool. I don't know what your perspective would be on that.
I honestly don't expect anything from anyone. Like, I don't. The main thing for me is I don't care. Like, it doesn't matter if this is Simone or a member of my family or you or any of my best mates or anyone like that, right? The only thing I would like to get off anyone is a card. That's all I care about. If Simone got me nothing at all but a card,
you're very big on
and
cards.
a bar of chocolate. Yeah, I'm a big card person. Like, I think it's one of those things that it takes very, very little effort. Like, you can, even on the high end of a card, like, you go, oh fuck, it's his birthday, it's so and so's birthday today. Fuck, I forgot to do that. And you can get them a card.
Yeah.
And go into the shop and buy a box of chocolates. And it was the most thought in the world put into it. No, but like that doesn't actually matter. Like, I think a card like marks it, and there's something about having something in, like, you know, in writing as well, like in someone's handwriting, to like be like, hey, I took the time out of my day to go to the shop and to, like, you know, write you this, not letter, you know, but write this down for you just to show my appreciation and love, like, you know. So that's all I care about. Like, I just, and like, again, it's one of those things. I wouldn't be annoyed if I didn't get a card either. Like, you know, like maybe I would be annoyed if like I didn't get a card from like Simone or my grandparents or something like that. Like, you know, then I would be a bit like, oh, you didn't even get me a card. Like, you know, that's, but like, you know, if it was from like yourself or like my friends, like in like the lads in the band, or like I wouldn't care about that sort of stuff. Like, you know, the only thing I'm picky on is that.
Do you think the card giving aspect is decreasing, not only in Ireland but like just in general? Do you think people are less entitled to give cards now? Like for me, like I would say, like it just probably to challenge that, I would say, like for me, I more appreciate when people take a time out of their day to throw me a text on my birthday. You know what I mean? Like if someone took their time out of their day to say happy birthday mate or whatever, like I'd probably be more happy about that than I would be about receiving a card. But then it's different just because I wouldn't be huge on cards, but I know you specifically like cards, so that's probably my own perspective on it. But what do you think about cards or cards being given? Do you think it's decreasing, or do you think it's still the same?
Massively. Like I really only get cards from, like, you usually send me a card. Simone and my grandparents will usually get me one, and like one of my auntie will usually get me one, and then that's kind of like they're the only, like, the bankers, you know, they're the only ones that I know, like,
you know, you're gonna get them.
Now that's not to say I definitely have received cards over the last few years from friends, you know. I'm not saying that like I'm not saying that I haven't, like I definitely have, but like it's less of an urgent thing, like, you know, it's more of I feel like people only do it if they're seeing you that week. Like I have a card there for two of my friends that I actually haven't seen in a year. But I have a birthday card from them there last year.
Yeah, I think you told me that a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, like, and it's just, I will always buy someone the card for their birthday, like, you know, and if, I don't know their addresses So if it gets to a stage where I haven't seen them in a while, I just will post them, but I actually don't know their addresses. I know where they both live. I could probably Google Maps it.
The surrounding area.
I know the surrounding area. I know the car. I know the car in the garden once I'm on the road, like, you know. But I don't
Shall
know
be
their
walking
address
around
right
the
down,
estate
like,
trying to
so
find the house.
it would take me a good 15 minutes of research on Google Maps to get it out to them, like, you know, which you know. But there's also something that's nice about giving to them in person as well, like, you know.
More on the topic though, do you think the expectations of gift giving is gone down? That's probably my whole aspect of the topic would be, do you think that gift giving within now and the next 20 to 50 years, do you think it's going to decrease over time? Or do you think it will always be as high as is suspected, probably at a younger age? Because, you know, like, you've got, you know, Easter and all these big holidays that maybe a lot of people celebrate, not just on religion aspect, but, like, I mean, just in terms of, like, Christmas and other things. Do you think the expectations of them things will decrease over time, or do you think they'll always be in a factor from an early age?
I think, yeah, I would hope they decrease. Like, I feel like right now we're, like, at, like, two very different sides. Like, I think you're either expecting lots or you're expecting fuck all. I don't feel there's a middle ground. Like, I think me and you were very mellow, and we care more about the thought and we appreciate the thought more and the effort more than the actual gift itself. Like, you know, where then, like, there's other people that, like, you know, I would think that they would be a bit pissed off. Like, not even if, like, the gift was like they could get a great gift, but they would be like, yeah, but they only spent X amount. Like, I've heard people say, oh, well, they only spent so much on it. Like, you know, it's like, right, but, you know, I would rather, I say this all the time, I would rather get a gift that costs somebody €10 that I use every day than get something that costs £100 that I use twice a year, you know? That's honestly, like, if someone can get me a gift that I use every single day, that's, like, the best type of gift. And that's what, whenever I'm trying to shop for people, it's something I think I'm quite good at. Like, whenever I buy something for somebody, it's something that they will use, like, you know, a lot, at least weekly, like, you know?
I think for me, I'm kind of the same in you, where I like putting thought into gifts for, like, my friends. Like, not to give myself a big head here, but, like, one of my favorite gifts that I've given someone was I give Shaun after his headline gig. I was in the Jacks and I was taking a piss, and there was a poster on the wall of like, with Shaun's name to say that he was headlining and stuff like that. So, like, it was like taking a piss, and a fella walked in and I, like, ripped it off the wall because it was, like, with blue tack, and I took it off the wall, and the guy was like, what are you doing? And I was, like, explaining to him, like, oh, it's my mate and stuff, I'm gonna put it in a frame for him and stuff like that. And he was like, oh, that's actually really nice. And he was like, I only realised that was a fella who actually worked there. Because when I came down later on, I walked in again to go to the Jacks, and he was actually sticking a new one on the wall. So I just thought that was funny. Like, it was actually a fella who worked there.
I'll print you off a new one that doesn't have.
Yeah, looking back at it now, he's just watching me there taking the blue tag off. Literally, like. But yeah, so, like, I'd be more inclined with, like, thoughtful gifts like that than stuff like maybe you use. But that's what I mean. I think it's very much depends on the person. You know what I mean? Like you're saying there, me and you would be very mellow with our gifts.
Yeah.
So,
and, like, but, like, I do also, like, when I'm giving, like, like, particularly with Simone, like, I love to spoil. Like, I love to go over the top on Simone.
Yeah.
Just because, like,
me and it could be the same.
Like for her birthday this year, I can finally say this in the podcast now because I was keeping it a secret for months, and I was saying it to Imran and Nicola as well on the side and tune, and like, you know, like, and Simone didn't know. Thankfully, she didn't guess because she always guesses what I get her because Simone's got, like, mad IQ. So,
Spidey senses.
Literally, I got her a set of AirPods Max, and, like, because she's been wanting them for years, and she's just never, like, been, and I wanted to get them for her last year, but when it was her birthday last year, I'd been unemployed for 4 months.
So
at that point, so £700 pair of headphones wasn't really on the agenda. Like, you know, I was struggling to get nice flowers for her in a budget that I could afford. Like, you know, but, like, it's little things, like, and, like, that was nice. But, like, the things I'm, like, most proud of that I got her were, like, I got her favorite packet of crisps from Spain that you can't buy in Ireland, and I got, like, 10 packets of those shipped over.
Was she surprised?
Oh my god, she couldn't believe. She was like, "What?" Like, she's, like, rationing them out. I think she still has, like, 5 packets left. You know, but like, the love to, like, see that on her face, like, that she was, like, so overjoyed with that. Like, you know, like, that's the best. Like, I love giving gifts. Like, I love giving people, especially when I know they're gonna love what I got them. Like, like I loved it.
Sometimes the reaction you get is actually better than giving the gift. Like I always love seeing people how excited they get when they get a gift because it's like their inner child is coming out.
Yeah.
Without even trying, like it just automatically just floods out of them. And I remember when Simone was over here with yourself, she was telling us that she would like rather a packet of crisps over a dinner. Like she loves crisps.
Oh, Simone's a crisp connoisseur.
Yeah. So if you ever want crisp recommendations, go to Simone.
Simone's, check out her DMs. The first year we were together, I went to Deals, and I'm not joking, lads, I got one of every single packet of crisps that was on the shelf. The big packets, like, like the big share bags, like, right? So I went to Deals, and I got about 20-25 packets of crisps. They have these big boy crisps, like, stuff I usually like. I obviously left out ones that she didn't like. But I picked out all of those, and I picked out like two of like her favourite ones. So like I said, about 20-25 packets by the end of this, and I picked out a couple of chocolate bits. But like I said, she's more of a crisp person, and I made like a big hamper. Shout out to my auntie Sinead here. I basically just threw the match and said, "Can you make that look nice?" And she made like a little hamper and a little basket and stuff. And Simone just thought it was the funniest thing ever, but it was also one of the most awful things ever.
Yeah. I would love her tier list of her like top 5 crisps. I'm actually gonna text her after this and ask her what's her like tier list.
Top 5 go, and she'll just say number 1, the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah. Oh my god! Don't get me started. We nearly had 2 hands when I found out.
Yeah, Simone's favorite Marvel film is one of Imran's least favorite Marvel films.
By far.
Context to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I feel like with given like it's like I feel especially amongst like friends and stuff, there's not like a pressure to like spend a lot of money, like I think it's more the thought, like it's like we were over at our mates the weekend, and they had gotten her some flowers and some chocolates and stuff like that. Like there was nothing like it's extravagant, but like if they had gotten her something that was like 200-300 quid, that would have been overwhelming. Like that is too much at that point. Like so it's about like showing like, oh, I know your personality, I know you'll like these chocolates, I know you'll like these type of flowers. Like I love getting flowers for people. Like I don't want to toot my own horn here, but like probably like once a month I'll send somebody flowers just because I love surprising people with flowers. Just like it's a really nice feeling. There's a company that I use that like I order off them once a month, and I'll just pick one of my friends and I'll just send them flowers. Just because it's a nice thing to do, and it's a nice surprise as well. I don't tell them. So they just get the flowers. Like obviously last month I got small flowers, but the month before that I sent them out to Carla, and I'd gotten them for Robin and stuff before, like just as a little.
Have you ever received flowers? From some, like as a man, and me and Nick were talking about this before. It's like the only time a man ever receives flowers is at his funeral. Yeah. So. Maybe me and Shaun could each other flowers,
I do love, right? If anybody is looking to get me an affair, because I don't, it's like this is going to be very like sexist. But, like,
just openly say it, you know what I mean?
This is just going to be a bit sexist.
Yeah. But we're not cancelled yet, so.
But like it's typically like a thing of like, oh, you get like the girl flowers, and then like you said, like there's not really a replacement there for men. I'm not as big on flowers. I love the look of flowers in the house. Like like don't get me wrong. Like I do like to have flowers in the house, but like I also like like it's also like nice to like I will get them for Simone, or like I'll get them like someone will get them for Simone. Like I'd say like at least once a month we'll have flowers in the house and for like 2 weeks, and then obviously they'll die off and stuff. But my equivalent to that, for people, if anybody's listening and wants to send me flowers of any sorts, is candles. I fucking love candles.
Shaun's slow for a candle.
Oh my god, man! I have a candle right here. Anybody who's watching on YouTube will see it. Spotify listeners, unlucky. It's Vanilla Orchard. I love adding with like a vanilla, a wood, or a caramelly kind of smell. That sort of stuff. It just makes me happy. I don't know what it is about like lighting a candle and just doing like nothing, like watching telly with the candle on, or like I'll work. I don't have it on now because I'm only in the office for an hour. But like if I'm in work and I'm going to be at my desk for a couple of hours, I'll always light a candle. Like I've got like a queue of candles. Like I've got another candle after this that I have to get to. That like I didn't think I'd ever be like 25 and like excited about like oh, my next candle. that's in the queue. You know, but yeah, that's my flower equivalent. What's your flower equivalent? Sniffing this candle now because it's glass.
What would be an equivalent?
Like chocolates could be one.
What do I like?
Crunchies,
Yeah.
soda bread, the brown breads.
Honestly, I love an L drink that someone buys me from the shop. Like Shaun was saying there, like we used to do like every time we used to meet up, we used to buy Mujo a lot. Or like say if I was collecting Shaun in the car, or Shaun was collecting me, we used to like go like already have a drink for the person, like when you're getting in the car.
Yeah, ready to go.
So for me, like it's like when your mate gives you like a little cheeky soft drink or a little water or a Mujo, like when you're not expecting it, like that's like pro for me. So all my mates listening, yeah,
Get my bottle of water.
get me a bottle of water.
Get my bottle.
Nice cold one in the back of the fridge.
None of this Aldi still water, none of this Iska shit. Like, it needs to be like needs to be like a Volvic or a Deep River Rock, something proper.
No.
You know.
Yeah, love that. Yeah.
I think that's probably a good point to sign off. So anybody at the end knows it's ingrained in their hair that they need to buy me candles, they need to buy you bottles of water.
Or sick of drinking out of the stream over here, you know.
Yeah, oh man, I'm kind of sick of water in a way because like I'm trying to get my 2 liters in every day, and like
Yeah, I get sick sometimes too.
it's like I've not missed it. It's the one thing I've like gotten every day. Like I've gone over on my calories by like 100 or 2, like you know every week or two, like you know so. However, I've kept doing the water, but man, I'm just sick of pissing. Like I got piss all the time.
Yeah,
I got like honestly, I peed before we started this, and I got to pee again. Like what the hell, man? Like I like that's the one thing about drinking water. It's like you do get like fairly sick of the nothing taste of water, but after a workout, it's nice. Or like you know, sipping on it for the day. But Jesus Christ, you got to piss quite a lot.
Not even lie, I've been literally shaking my legs for the past 10 minutes while Sean's been talking because I'm dying to go for a bit.
Okay, right, well, this is even
for all your listeners, you're welcome.
Yeah, there you go. And anybody who's out there is thirsty, unlucky. Anyway, so guys, thank you so much for tuning in to the Distance Dilemma. This is episode number 26. My name is Shaun. I'm in Dublin, Ireland. That is Imran. He's in Toon, Switzerland. This has been our long distance friendship podcast. Thank you so much for listening. It is out every Monday at 6 a.m. Irish time, 7 a.m. Central European time. A different time if you're in the States. A different time if you're in Australia. I don't know what the
Philippines.
Is. The Philippines, different time. Don't know. Look up yourselves. Anyway, thank you so much for listening to our podcast, and we will be back next week. I'm going to hand you over to Imran.
I'm going for a piss, lads.
Right. Sound. Guys, thank you so much. See you next week.